Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering. What character am I trying to be here? This doesn't sound anything like Yoda. So, I'm Richard Neal, this is Random Street Theater, and I'm doing another naked blog. Why I do these, I'm a little confused, but the only thing people tend to watch. Today we're talking about hatred, which everyone pretty much knows is a bad thing. But then that would be what's called common sense. And well, the thing about common sense, it's never common, nor is it cheap. So it really should be called uncommon dollars when you think about it. Anyway, hatred builds a wall. This is my mouth is not working properly. This is a saying I often repeat to my clients. I work with the homeless. Many of them feel a lot of anger, and of course, anger is a precursor to hatred. In the natural setting, you're angry that the bear came and ate your kids. Your anger leads to hatred, leads to you going and killing the bear so it won't come eat your kids anymore. But we live in a world where you can't go kill everything you're angry with, so you have to kind of moderate your responses. I'm going to give you a great example. When I was a younger man, I was very angry. And I had a very close friend named Chris, who always loved it when I was angry. And he always told everyone, Rick's always angry, Rick's always angry. Could never get my name right. You know, I never liked being called Rick. He would always say my name to piss me off because he liked to see me angry. Then one day I decided to stop being angry. It wasn't getting me anywhere. I had been angry for years and years and years, and it didn't work. It didn't do anything for me. So I started focusing on tempering my anger, started realizing that anger wasn't going to do the job. And this really pissed off Chris, who did everything he could because he loved seeing me angry. Well, we had a falling out. We had a falling out for a number of reasons, one of them being that he was always talking bad about me and to my face to other people, so I guess not behind my back, but always had something negative to say about me. And then how the friendship ended is I said, look, you want to see me again? You need to leave me a voicemail telling me what you intend to do, because I don't have time to come play with you. I'm not going to show up here and argue, because that's what he'd love to do. He'd love to argue all the time about what we're going to do for the night. You know, I had school, I had work, I was exhausted. Said, fine, call me, leave me a voicemail. He refused to do that. Instead, he went around to all of his friends screaming, Rick won't talk to me, Rick won't talk to me. Now, they're all angry with me because they want me to forgive Chris. That anger, of course, turned to hatred. So they built their little walls of hatred. They built these walls and expected me to climb over them. But if I climb over them, if I ever forgave this man, which I see no reason to, but if I ever did, I would then wind up hanging around with a bunch of people that hate me. They built walls that kept me out. If what they wanted was for me to forgive this guy, they went about it the wrong way. Personally, I always thought this was what the fellow wanted, but like I say, if you hate somebody because they don't agree with you, you're laying down bricks. You're saying, keep out, you don't agree with me. I don't want to be around people that don't agree with me. So what happens if they agree with you? You've now got a wall between you. And you know what happens if you keep building walls? You wind up with a prison. That prison keeps the world out and you in. It's one of those things. This is why we have to have a certain level of tolerance in our lives. We have to live with the absence of hatred. Now, when I say tolerance, if somebody comes up here and eats your children, you have a right to be angry with them, and you have a right to go take them out. Our society has a legal system for that reason. That's what we do. But now, what if your kids do something? One of your kids breaks the blender, and he was screwing around and you told him to stop, but he broke the blender anyway. Are you now angry with your kid? If you're unenlightened, yes. But you should be angry with the actions of that person, not the person. You know, it's like my own father used to tell me I was unreasonable. Okay, but if you mean that literally, I'm unreasonable, therefore everything I ask for is unreasonable. Okay, so it doesn't matter if I said, hey, wipe your feet on the mat before you come in the house, you're tracking mud. I'm unreasonable. No, I'm unreasonable, not my requests. The reason he said I was unreasonable was because we had an agreement and I expected him to hold to it. He felt that was very unreasonable. When you go out there and you put this label on people, you say, you're this, you're that, you're not giving them the opportunity to change. Now, it's like I say, with what I do for a living, there are no labels. Everyone I deal with is a person. When I deal with them, they're a person. They might be a person who is an African American, they might be a person who is a Caucasian, they might be a person who is a homosexual, who is transgender, transvestite, green, purple, blue, it doesn't matter. Everyone to me is a person first. And a lot of them do things that upset me, you know. And I'm never upset with the person, I'm upset with the action. Now, again, how do we deal with that? Well, we have to explain to this person why their actions are inappropriate. We have to be honest, we have to be forthcoming, and we have to be receptive to whatever it is they say. Much like with your child who broke the blender. Well, why did he break the blender? Did he break the blender because he was playing with it? Well, okay, so if he really has to play with a blender, well, maybe you should buy him some toys if he's breaking blenders. I mean, hey, we're never too old for some kind of toys. You have video games, they're electric toys, so shut up. But anyway, so you have to say, is the kid getting enough attention? Because maybe they're acting out. Could you give them a plastic blender top, and therefore they can't break that, take the blade out? Never give children blades. I learned that the hard way when my parents gave me one. So, but why is the behavior happening? What's going on? If a person is being unreasonable, you have to begin to ask yourself, why are they being unreasonable? In my case, I felt I had been wronged, and I figured people should have to pay for that. Is that unreasonable? My father would probably tell me yes, but he decided that I'm unreasonable and is unwilling to examine my behavior. In the case of my friends, you know, our conversation stopped because I felt I wouldn't be listened to. I made a simple, reasonable request and it was ignored. But now they've labeled me as the problem, and there's nothing I can ever do to redeem myself, yet there are still people that want me to interact with this situation. See, there's the thing. I'm a person. Making mistakes is human. We all do that. We all do things that we're not proud of. This is humanity. But the question is always why. Can we address the problem? Can you look into my life and see what went wrong? Where is the anger derived from? Where is this behavior coming from? And how do we address it? If you're doing that, and people are still unreceptive, well, I always believe that there is a point where you have to distance yourself from a person. But if people are being reasonable, and I don't mean just talking, because some people say that, being receptive, conversing, and being willing to change your behavior if you're proven wrong. So, put it in a nutshell, hatred builds a wall. Build enough walls, you will have a prison that keeps you in and the world out. I'm Richard Neal. Tricia, you may link this video, and you've all heard enough of my babbling for the day.